I'm here with Laura Ernst, the professional stager that makes houses shine before they go on the market.
Going into a bathroom and the light fixture over the sink has all different light bulbs, and some are cool and some are warm and they're different shapes, and I'm like, ah! Yeah,
we just pulled whatever light bulb was available and we screwed it in because we needed light in that room. And
so if you're doing your DIY staging, that's one of the first things I'm going to ask you to do.
So speaking of DIY staging, I know a lot of people who are not selling who are watching this video who might, some tips that you would give them.
Yeah, of course. Obviously anybody can Google, what do I do to prepare my home
for staging?
For staging.
Right.
And there's a lot of, buzzwords like declutter and depersonalize. So some agents, and maybe you're one of them, want people to take down every single family photo. They want nothing of personal in the house. Having said that, we stage vacant houses, and I've often brought in a family photo here or there. Do I want an entire gallery wall of your family and your kids? No, I don't. I do find it's important to start to neutralize that a bit. I even recommend if you have a home office and you've got diplomas hanging up, I would take those down. What we see is people get into the house and they get kind of, I don't want to say nosy, but they might get curious. They get distracted.
Yeah.
I would rather they look at the crown molding in your office and the beautiful hardwood floors than, oh, where did they go to school? Oh, they're an attorney. Ooh.
Right.
That to me is distracting from the house.
Selling your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, obviously that's our ultimate goal. So those things, so that depersonalizing, sometimes if you have extensive, really unusual collections, that would be something that you may want to consider paring down, because again, it's setting a tone and it might be distracting from the home. Some of the not so glamorous things, I typically in a kitchen ask people to put any knife blocks away for safety. I also say hide any medications, anything that's highly valuable or sentimental that could be broken accidentally, that is irreplaceable.
I actually tell people to lock away their jewelry because we don't want to be responsible when the showings are going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Just better to be safe than sorry. And again, going back to something we referred to earlier as far as the DIY staging. Mm-hmm. Pretend like you're a potential buyer. Walk out to your street. Can I see your front door, or are your bushes and trees overgrown that I can't even really get a good visual of your house? Are your windows dirty? Does your sidewalk need to be power washed? Are there weeds in your flower beds? These are all things that really convey, do I maintain my home? Is there a pride of ownership? And then, like I said, does your front door need a fresh coat of paint? And then what is it like when I walk in the front door? The house I was in today, I could tell within 10 seconds of being in the house, they had cats and dogs. So the smell of your house is important. Am I asking you to bake cookies and light candles? No, because sometimes I feel like that just, sends a message of I'm trying to mask something. But the best scent is clean.
I have a thing about those Glade plugins.
Yeah, I hear ya.
So there are people who are allergic to those Glade plugins. So I have had situations where my clients had plugged them into their home, and some of these were vacant properties, rentals, I heard from the agents, the showing agents, saying my client couldn't even stand inside that room because they're so deathly allergic to that they had to run out of the house.
Highly sensitive to fragrance. I agree.
Yeah. So those plugins are not a great idea.
Yeah. And it's going back to the DIY, really one of the best things you can do is to make sure that your house is as thoroughly clean as you can.
You can clean enough. I think you can clean enough, yeah.
Even if that means, if you have a regular house cleaner that comes, say every other week or something, look into getting a deep clean. That's a totally different thing from a maintenance clean where they're just dusting and vacuuming.
Right, and because that's a total turn off. Mm-hmm. Right, for buyers who walk through, if the house isn't very clean.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts around plants and greenery?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for vacant houses, we do bring in artificial plants because it's kind of, I don't want to say a necessary evil, but every room benefits greatly from a pop of green or to kind of inject something living into the room. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we go into houses, neutral is such a trend. which I can certainly appreciate. But to have that bit of color, especially at certain different times of the year, whether it's the middle of winter where everything is so drab and you just want some green. I'll often recommend, if you want to get some fresh flowers, to have a flower arrangement on your kitchen counter. That's great. If you're in the time of year, whether it's spring or summer, where you can have pots out front that have something. Again, that is making your house seem inviting. It's giving that color that'll look nice in photographs, and it's sort of setting the tone
for what's inside.
Right. Yeah, I mean, our goal is always, from that first impression, whether that first impression is online in the photos or when they're walking in the door, to want people to see more.